In My Mug, episode 363 on Monday the 26th of October 2015. I'm your host, Stephen Layton. Welcome to a very quick In My Mug. And the reason it's a quick In My Mug is that last week's was so long that you've chewed up my bandwidth, so I'm going to keep it short. So no news, no focus on, straight into the coffee. So this week's coffee, I've been searching for a long time to find a great Kalosi that I've wanted to stock. 2.5 years I searched and searched, and this cooperative stroke washing station landed on my desk last year. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And we had the double A and the A come along. This year we've got the Peaberry from there. I'm so excited to share this with you. Like, sharing Indonesian on In My Mug is super unusual, but I think you're gonna like this one. I really I'm looking forward to the comments on it. So Sulawesi, Celebes as it used to be called, was influenced and controlled by the Netherlands from, I think it was 1605 up until about the Second World War. And the Dutch spent a lot of money investing in infrastructure, but also a lot of time investing in coffee. There was a company called the Dutch East Indian Company that was in control of all of the coffee production during 1780s, 1900s. And it was them that introduced Arabica to Sulawesi in 1750. A little bit of a history lesson going on here, don't you think? I've memorised all of this stuff. Indonesian coffee has traditionally been processed basically by a thing called gling bash, which is a wet hold method. Sumatran coffee is very unique. It's very different. It has a very unique set of climate and weather things, and traditionally they wouldn't use wash, they'd use a lot more natural. Washed has started to be introduced, and this has been introduced by the TOARCO, who owns the Peaberry, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that terribly wrong, plantation, which goes from 900 metres to 1250 metres, so not super high altitude. And they buy wet parchment, so basically pulped, kind of semi-dried, from producers around about 1200 to 1800 metres above sea level, which is actually getting better. We're really kind of climbing up the mountain here. And they dry it all on their patios at their mill. This is unusual. Like, this is not the usual way things are done in Kalosi. And I think it shows in the cup. They're very careful about the processing, so making sure that it's dried correctly, so over a period of time, instead of just buying any old cherry or having naturals, all of those kind of things. This lot that we have comes from the small producers at the very highest altitude, so they're actually selecting who comes in through the door and going, you're a lot we want for this one, you're a lot we want for more commercial coffee. And this is because the importers have given them some very specific instructions for what they want. This comes from a variety called Tana, which is a 795 variety, I think it's called, which is a typical hybrid, basically. And it just shows that, like, when you pay attention to the varietal and you pay attention to the drying process and the actual processing of the coffee, how much beautiful coffee you can get out of it. Yeah, Indonesia is kind of well known for having lots of Robusta, lots of Catimors, but we're really looking at this Tana to keep the quality high. And I think we're going to see that in the cup. So we should go through some figures. The country is Indonesia, the region is Sulawesi, the nearest town is Pango, the altitude is 1200 to 1850 metres above sea level. It is the crop is picked between September and March, and they have a fly crop in July. Kind of like Colombia, they have two crops where they have coffee coming in. It's all hand picked. It is a fully washed, sun dried on special kind of open air concrete patios, and it is a typical Peaberry. Kind of, we're going to call it a typical Peaberry for the sake of calling it a typical Peaberry, because that makes more sense as a varietal. Okay, I'm not looking forward to this part. Let's go do the map bit. I'm really not looking forward to this one. This is going to be as vague as it's ever got on a map bit. But it's great because we're going all the way across to Indonesia, and we haven't been to Indonesia on a map bit forever. And ever. So this is pretty cool that we're going to go there. And we're going to go down to somewhere which is not actually called Sulawesi. It used to be called Kalosi. It's now called Sulawesi, but Kalosi is the old term. I think that's when some colonial people took over it. But Indonesia sits on both sides of the equator. Isn't that fun? It's also a super big coffee producer, and not so many people know about it. And now this is where it gets a little bit vague, because we're coming down and look at this lovely country. It's not there. We definitely don't. The coffee's definitely not grown there. It could be grown to the right or the left, or it could be grown over there. Who knows? This is the map bit that's incredibly vague, but we're showing you a lovely view of Indonesia, don't you think? I do know that it's actually grown quite close to that lake there. So that's definitely one place that it could be from. But the lowest point is the Indian Ocean, and the highest point, 4,884 metres. That is so, so high. But there we have a great view of the whole of the Indonesian islands. There's lots of individual islands. Sorry for a vague map bit. Vaguest map bit we've ever done, I think you'll agree. Yeah, it's around that area somewhere. It's a big island. It's somewhere around the island. But we are doing a quick one today, but we still have time for Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. The distance from Kalosi to Jakarta, the capital, is 905 miles. Very factual, Glue. I'm glad it was a short one too. Well done, you. I'm going to whap you on pause, going to get tasting delicious drinks. Be back with you in just a second. So we're back. This is brave. So I think Indonesia in general gets a really tough time from the specialty coffee community. People judge it before they even drink it. And as I said to you at the very start, we spent 2.5 years trying to find a replacement for a great Kalosi we found. I think this is probably the best one we've ever had. I really do. The smell is phenomenal. So, it has milk chocolate. It's creamy. It's a massive mouthfeel. But the body. One thing you can't take away from Indonesian is how much body it has. This is a big, bold coffee. It's a great espresso. It's a really good espresso. And I do have a soft spot for Peaberrys, I must admit. I do have a soft spot for them. So, into the milk. Now, this is where I'm really excited. A great coffee flavour coming through. I mean, it's just such a great coffee flavour. Powers through. Now, I know coffee should taste of coffee, but this is a real coffee for me. The milk chocolate has changed a little bit into a dark chocolate. But one thing that hasn't changed is the super huge body in there as well. Just managed to pour that everywhere. I'm doing good today. So, into the brewed coffee. It's so clean. It is so clean. It's creamy. It's milk chocolate, but with a big body. It's still there. It's still huge. The acidity is gentle. It's there, but it sits underneath. It just is a great coffee. If you give this to somebody blind on a table, a great, let's think, put natural Brazils. This won't jump out and punch you in your face like an Indonesian that's dirty and kind of leathery and, you know, yeah, not good. This is amazing. I really want to hear your feedback on this one. Do you want more coffees like this? Do you like this coffee? If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I know it's an acquired taste. I know it's something that's very personal. But I think this is the best Indonesian we've ever had. And what we try and do is buy the best from Origin. So the very best coffee from Origin. This really has its place. I'm actually going to go back and have some more milk. I never go back for a second swig of milk. Right, I'm done. Got to keep it short. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. And do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee, and this is delicious.